Hello everybody, I'm Jake, and yesterday I was looking at all the various status effects in Elden Ring, and I was wondering which ones are unappreciated, which ones haven't been shown off very much. And then I remembered sleep existed at all. I think there's like one enemy in the whole game that can affect you with sleep, and it barely does anything to you. So I looked up where to get the one and only sleep sword in the entire game, and you can get it right at the very start if you want to. So the first thing you gotta do is pick the prisoner class. It's the only one in the entire game that can use the weapon right from the start. You also need a stone sword key, as it is locked behind a stone sword gate. Finish your beautiful creation, and then go on your way. Die to grafted scion, and now you're really in the game. And then begin the long trek all the way to Caelid to get the sword. Once I finally got it, I really wanted to test it out on the tutorial area, so here we are. I made it all the way to Soldier of Godrick, and let's see how he likes the sword. Time for a nice little rest. Hey, what are you doing back up? Go back to bed. Much better. So I was feeling very good about my build already, and I wanted to test it out in some of the dungeon areas. Look, this little guy was mining so hard he fell asleep. These trolls are beyond weak to sleep. They act like they just took 10 melatonin pills, and they are just on the very edge, and the sword is just pushing them over. Try finger's butthole, am I right? Hey Tony, what the hell are you doing? Go back to bed. You're sleeping halfway up the walls. Alright, now for a real boss. Went over to Tree Sentinel to see what was up. Of course I immediately died, so there's that. But then I tried it again. Now Tree Sentinel, he's had like 10 cups of coffee today, because this guy does not go down easy. And when he does go down, it's just for like a second or two. But I did eventually wear him down through attrition. And then I wanted to test out my strength against a couple dungeons real quick. First I went to Stormfoot catacombs. Now these guys, and pretty much every guy in these dungeons, are like completely immune to sleep. They're not having it, they don't care. So I went over to the next dungeon for this guy. Now this guy, he's a little tuckered out guy. Literally in the time that the enemies are sleeping, you can, drink some Estus, buff yourself up, use some items, take the dog for a walk, and then you can come over for the riposte. Now Grave Warden Duelist, he was a little tougher. This guy beat me up a couple times. He's not really a sleeping kind of dude, and we'll just do the little, halfway sleep for a couple seconds. But eventually I figured out you could backstab him, and then my strategy was to, in the little time he's asleep, just, skirt around him and then backstab him. Now at this point I was getting pretty antsy. I wanted to head over to Stormville Castle to see how I would do. But there was just one more person I needed to see before that. This guy went down like it was nobody's business, no thanks to him. There you are, Patches. What the? I actually died to Patches? No one in the history of mankind has died to Patches. He's not particularly sleepy either. Alright, now I'm on my way to Stormville Castle. Just want to get some smithing stones before I head all the way up. These trolls are the most tuckered out guys you'll ever see in your life. Alright, now time for a real man's boss. Margit was tough. I told myself I wasn't gonna do any summons or any BS like that, and just, man on man, beat him down. Man, was that a mistake. This guy is completely and totally immune to sleep, as far as I can tell. Never once did he even stagger. And it was at this time that I was really considering using a summon like the jellyfish. But then I had an epiphany. I'm not just the sleepy swordsman. I'm also a mage. And then I became the sleepy battle mage, aka I just cheesed him to death. Other than that, I beat him, all fair and square. So then I made my way through the castle. And then I started to get into the rhythm of how I could really use my sword's power. What I did against powerful enemies like this was creep up behind them, use my L2 to put them to sleep, because that dealt a lot of damage, and then I could follow it up with a backstab. And then as they were getting up, hit them to sleep again, dodge whatever attacks that they were going to do, and then backstab them again, and they died. It's a really powerful, fun combo, and I liked it a lot. So anyone who knows me knows that I absolutely hate grafted scions. These absolute relentless degenerates will non-stop attack you, and I can't stand it. There's no way to predict what they're doing. They just do whatever they want, and they attack a bazillion times. They also have like infinite health. I tried putting him to sleep, and he was not having it. I could barely even get in range to use my sleep. Maybe if I had sleep pots, but I don't. And then I realized that I forgot all about my mage side again, so I just cheesed him to death. Much better. And within Stormville Castle, I got another part to my build. This weapon has insane crit. I've never seen a weapon with 140 crit before. I thought 110 was the highest. Since my build relies almost entirely on, putting people to sleep and then getting critical hits, this will fit in perfectly. One funny thing that happened is that these birds can actually fall asleep and they just faceplant into the dirt. These jars are absolutely adorable when they fall asleep. Alright, now time for the final event. The Sleepy Battle Mage versus Godrick the Grafted. Now I died a lot of times to this guy. A lot of times. But I actually really like this boss fight. I feel like all the moves are fair and able to be exploited and have like very clear open windows. And I truly learned how to fight Godrick now. After fighting him 6,000 times, I eventually learned almost all of his moves, and I was so close to going perfect against this boss, but then I, just got a little too carried away. This sword is actually pretty good against Godrick. It's not amazing or anything, but it's pretty solid overall. You need a very fast weapon in order to exploit this man. He's very relentless, and he has very odd attacks with like weird timings and, just constantly switching it up. But eventually I finally just decided, hey, why don't I just get good? So Godrick, the hard thing about Godrick is that he is really inconsistent with sleep. Sometimes he'll get affected by sleep and then he'll finish his entire combo before falling asleep. Sometimes he will finish his entire combo and then all of a sudden he's not affected by sleep anymore and nothing happens. It's really frustrating. He also doesn't get like true slept like Soldier of Godrick or those giants, which I wasn't fully expecting, but I'm glad to see that he at least gets stunned by it, unlike stupid Margit. Strangely enough, Phase 2 was actually way easier than Phase 1. I was able to stun lock him and then completely beat him down right at the start of every Phase 2. Overall, I did this one almost completely straight up. Like, I did shoot a couple magic missiles at him, but nothing too crazy. And my goodness, right here, I was the most nervous I've ever been in my entire life. No! Put me down, you asshole! Put me down! That's what I thought. Now I kill you dead. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Otherwise, this character right here will find you. Let me know. Would you like to see a part 2? Any suggestions would be greatly appreciated. So, I will see you in the next video. See ya.